Here we are for episode 32 of the Italian Americans in Hollywood podcast series. I'm Daley Giacopella, and my co-host is Sadie Bruni. Hi, Sadie.
Hi, Daley. It's great to be back.
You wanted to learn more about Steve Carell and his Italian-American heritage. We have a great collection of articles and biographies you shared with us. It seems you're particularly interested in his family history and how his background might have influenced his path to becoming a comedic icon.
It's always fascinating to explore those hidden connections between a person's heritage and their career. Let's start with his Italian roots.
Okay, so we know that Carell's paternal grandfather, Ernest Caroselli, emigrated from Bari, in the Apulia region of Italy. What I found really interesting is that the family name was changed from Caroselli to Carell sometime in the 1950s. That must have been a significant decision for the family.
It was a fairly common practice for Italian immigrants during that era. Many families felt pressure to assimilate, and changing their names was seen as a way to fit in and avoid discrimination. It makes you wonder how Ernest felt about that change and what impact it might have had on his sense of identity.
That's a good point. It's a reminder of the challenges faced by immigrants throughout history. Speaking of family history, Carell grew up in Massachusetts. The youngest of 4 boys, his dad was an electrical engineer, and his mom was a psychiatric nurse. A pretty different path from show business, wouldn't you say?
It certainly seems that way. And yet, even in his early life, there were hints of his future comedic talents. Did you know that before acting, he worked as a mail carrier in Littleton, Massachusetts?
A mail carrier? That's so unexpected. It's funny to imagine him delivering mail with that signature deadpan expression we all know and love.
Right. It's fascinating to think about how those everyday interactions with people from all walks of life might have informed his comedic sensibility later on, those small moments of human absurdity that he could observe on his route.
And it wasn't just the mail carrier gig. He also worked as a store clerk. And get this, played the fife in a historical reenactment group. I'm trying to picture him in a powdered wig and breeches, tuning away on a fife. It's quite a contrast to his later roles.
Those experiences likely helped him develop his comedic timing and stage presence. Even in those seemingly unrelated jobs, he was honing his performance skills and learning how to connect with an audience.
And that path eventually led him to Denison University, where he really started to explore his passion for comedy. He joined Burpee's Sadie theatrical company, which was a student-run improv troupe. It's interesting how even in college he was drawn to improv. It seems spontaneity and a love for the unexpected have always been part of his comedic DNA.
It's almost as if he was destined for a career that involved performing. And speaking of improv, we can't forget his time on the Denison Big Red hockey team. He was a goalie for 4 years. That takes a certain level of fearlessness and quick thinking, which are also valuable traits for an improviser.
Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and watch our shorts videos and other podcasts on Italian Americans in Hollywood.
After graduating from Denison, he took a leap of faith and joined the legendary Second City Improv Troupe in Chicago.
Second City is such a breeding ground for comedic talent. It's amazing to think that he was once part of that world. It was there that he crossed paths with Stephen Colbert, who was actually his understudy at one point. Can you imagine being Stephen Colbert's understudy?
It speaks to the incredible talent that was already present in that troupe. Even back then, they were surrounded by future stars. It must have been an incredibly stimulating and competitive environment.
From there, he landed some early TV roles, including The Dana Carvey Show, which only lasted 1 season but was such a hub for comedic talent. He also landed a role on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, which is where I think a lot of people first became aware of him. He was a correspondent on that show from 1999 to 2005.
His work on The Daily Show gave him a platform to showcase his comedic skills and his ability to think on his feet. It was the perfect stepping stone to bigger things. It allowed him to develop his own comedic voice and refine his ability to deliver humor in a concise and engaging way.
While he was finding success on television, he was also starting to break into the film world. His first film role was a small part in the 1991 film Curly Sue. It's hard to believe that was over 3 decades ago.
He had to start somewhere. And he steadily worked his way up, taking on bigger and bigger roles. It's a testament to his persistence and his willingness to put in the work.
He appeared in a number of films before landing a part in the 2004 comedy Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. That was his first major film role, and I think that movie is what put him on the map for a lot of people.
Anchorman was such a huge hit. It introduced Steve Carell to a much wider audience. It was a great ensemble cast, and he really held his own among some big comedy names. It was also the movie that led to his collaboration with Judd Apatow, who had a knack for spotting comedic talent.
Apatow saw something special in Carell's performance in Anchorman and approached him about doing another film together. Carell had this idea about a movie, centered around a middle-aged man who was still a virgin. And that's how the 40-year-old virgin was born.
That film really solidified his comedic persona as the awkward but lovable guy that so many people could relate to. It was a breakout role for him
Yeah.
and established him as a leading man in Hollywood.
Around the same time, he landed the role that would make him a household name, Michael Scott on The Office. It's hard to imagine anyone else embodying that character, with such cringeworthy yet endearing awkwardness.
His portrayal of Michael Scott was brilliant. He managed to make the character both hilarious and surprisingly sympathetic. It's a testament to his ability to find the humanity, even in the most outlandish characters.
It's interesting to consider how his background in improv might have influenced his performance on The Office. The show is known for its improvisational style, and Carell's ability to think on his feet and react to his fellow actors must have been a huge asset.
It's clear that he thrived in that environment. He was nominated for 6 Emmy Awards for his role as Michael Scott and won a Golden Globe Award in 2006.
What's fascinating is that during his time on The Office, he also continued to take on film roles, showing his dedication to both television and film. He even voiced the character of Gru in the animated movie Despicable Me while he was still filming The Office.
The first Despicable Me movie came out in 2010 and was a massive hit. It spawned a whole franchise, and those little yellow minions became global icons. It's remarkable how much emotion he can convey with just his voice. He's able to make Gru both menacing and lovable at the same time.
After 7 seasons on The Office, Carell decided to leave the show in 2011. To focus on his film career, it was a difficult decision for him and for the fans of the show.
It was definitely the end of an era, but he left on a high note, and the show continued for 2 more seasons without him. It's a testament to the impact he made on the show, that it's still so beloved today.
And while he was undoubtedly sad to say goodbye to Michael Scott, I think he was also ready to explore other opportunities. He'd already starred in a string of successful comedies, including Date Night and Crazy Stupid Love.
He was proving that he could carry a film on his own, and he was becoming known for his ability to create these incredibly memorable and relatable characters. He has a knack for finding the humor in everyday situations and making audiences connect with his characters on a personal level.
Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and watch our shorts videos and other podcasts on Italian Americans in Hollywood.
His performance on The Morning Show earned him an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. It was his 11th Emmy nomination overall, a testament to his enduring talent and ability to adapt to different genres.
It's inspiring to see how he constantly pushes himself to take on new challenges. He's not afraid to step outside of his comfort zone and explore different facets of his craft.
In addition to The Morning Show, he also created and starred in the Netflix comedy series Space Force, a satire about the newly formed 6th branch of the United States Armed Forces.
Space Force was a clever and often hilarious show that poked fun at the absurdities of military bureaucracy and the space race. He played General Mark Naird, who was tasked with leading this unconventional branch of the military.
He brought a sense of earnestness to the role. That made it even funnier. He was able to convey the character's frustration and bewilderment while still finding moments of genuine humor.
And let's not forget, his voice work is Gru in the Despicable Me franchise. He continues to delight audiences with his portrayal of this lovable supervillain. The most recent film, Minions: The Rise of Gru, came out in 2022 and was another box office success.
It's a testament to his versatility, that he can seamlessly transition between live-action roles and voice acting. He brings a unique energy and charisma to every character he inhabits.
In 2022, he also starred in the FX on Hulu limited series The Patient, a gripping psychological thriller in which he played a therapist who is kidnapped by a serial killer. It was a departure from his comedic roles and showcased his ability to delve into darker and more complex characters.
His performance in The Patient was captivating. He conveyed the character's fear and desperation while also maintaining a sense of intellectual curiosity. That made him a fascinating character to watch.
It's remarkable to consider the trajectory of his career, from his early days in improv to becoming a global comedy icon. He's worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood and starred in some of the most popular and critically acclaimed films and television shows of our time.
And through it all, he's managed to stay grounded and maintain a reputation for being kind and approachable. He's never forgotten his roots and even owns and operates a general store in Marshfield Hills, Massachusetts.
It's a reminder that success doesn't have to change who you are at your core. It's possible to achieve great things while remaining true to yourself.
His story is an inspiration to aspiring actors and anyone who dreams of pursuing a creative path. It's a reminder that hard work, dedication, and a willingness to take risks can lead to extraordinary outcomes.
Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and watch our shorts videos and other podcasts on Italian Americans in Hollywood.
It's been a pleasure exploring Steve Carell's life and career with you. He's a truly unique talent, and his journey is a testament to the power of following your passions and embracing the unexpected.
We've seen how his Italian-American heritage, his early experiences, and his unwavering commitment to his craft have shaped him into the multifaceted artist he is today.
We can't wait to see what he does next, whether he's making us laugh in a comedy or captivating us with a dramatic performance. He's sure to continue to surprise and delight audiences for years to come.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Italian Americans in Hollywood podcast series. Until next time, ciao.